Animal Form and Function 2, Lecture 14. The body fluid regulation. So you can see here the kidney. Today we will discuss about vertebrate excretory system, how vertebrates achieve osmoregulation, vertebrate kidney variations, sharks. First of all, aquatic animals. Sharks belongs to elasmobronchi, belongs to cartilaginous fishes. Sharks, rays and skates belongs to same fish class, contain the mesonephric kidney, and actively pumping ions are there that pump ions out of their kidney, out of their body through their kidney. Also they have the rectal glands that secrete concentrated sodium chloride solution into the aquatic environment. To reduce water loss, they use urea and trimethylamine oxide. Raise the osmotic pressure to a level just like the sea water. Urea is basically retained in the body just to improve the osmotic pressure into the body, but urea is very toxic. So to avoid toxicity of urea, TMO is retained in the blood so that urea become harmless for the sharks in the marine environment. Countercurrenting osmolyte strategy, that is urea. Urea denatures proteins and inhibits more enzymes. TMO stabilize proteins and activate enzymes. Countercurrent or counteract each other. Raise the osmotic pressure, no effect on enzymes and proteins by the TMO. A number of other fishes and vertebrates have evolved the same mechanism and employ pairs of counteracting osmolyte to raise the osmotic pressure of their body fluid. Now teleost fishes. Most teleost fishes have the mesonephric kidney. Freshwater fishes are hyperosmotic relative to freshwater, so more water will go inside. Water tend to enter, causing excessive hydration or bloating. Body ions tend to move outward into the water. Freshwater and seawater, you can see that water will go inside and sodium and chloride ions will go outside. As outer environment have the less salts and more water, body have the more salts and less water, so against the along the concentration gradient, ions and water will move. Water will move inside and dilute urine will be passed out from the body, whereas gills will uptake the sodium and chloride ions. Also sodium and chloride ions will be reabsorbed by the kidneys, so high volume and low salt urine will be passed out. Then seawater. Seawater ingests salty water, so salt will be removed by the gills and water will be removed by the gills. Salt and water will also go inside along with the water. Filtration will be low volume of water and isotonic sodium and chloride salts. salts will be retained in the body by the kidney reabsorption, and water will also retain. To solve this problem, fish do not drink much water, and coated with the mucus helps them to save the water, helps them inward water movement. Absorb more salts and ions by active transport, that is by the use of ATP across the concentration gradient and across their gills, and excrete dilute urine. Although most of the groups evolved in the sea, but many marine bony fishes probably had freshwater ancestors. It means that fishes evolved first in the freshwater and then goes to the marine water. Marine fishes have the body fluids are hypoosmotic. Water tends to leave the body. Dehydration will occur. To compensate, they have to drink large quantities of water and secrete lot of ions, that is sodium, chloride, potassium ions, through the secretory cells in the gills. Now the sea water. Here you can see the red color, direction of movement of ion, the blue color, direction of movement of water. So water and ions will move inside, and then through the skin will go outside and will also move inside, but water will move outside and salts will move inside through the skin. Concentrated salty urine will be passed out and active ion transport through the gills. Channels in the plasma membranes of the kidney actively transport the multiple or multivalent ions abundant in seawater, that is calcium, magnesium, sulfate, phosphates, and out of the extracellular fluid nephron tubes, ion excreted via concentrated urine. Migratory fishes. Basically, they have to migrate from freshwater to seawater and seawater to freshwater. Some fishes encounter both fresh and salt water during their life. Newborn Atlantic salmon born in freshwater stream then will move to the marine water, and when its breeding season comes, then it will again move to the freshwater. And in this case, instead of continuing to pump ions, now rid their bodies of salt. Years later, salmon migrate from the sea to freshwater home to spawn. As they do, the pumping mechanism reverses themselves. Here you can see hyperosmotic to environment, that is main osmoregulatory organ is skin. Problem is water gaining and salt losing. So solution dilute urine and pump salt into body, and no gills, no chloride cells. Urinary bladder. The bladder in the frog and the toads and the salamanders retain water and iron reservoirs. When the environment becomes dry, the bladder enlarges, store more urine, and when amphibian become dehydrated, then brain hormone will released and will let the water to leave the bladder and enter into body fluid just to maintain the osmotic balance along the environmental change. In this diagram, you can see the amphibian living in the freshwater that intake food, salt and water through the oral cavity. Then kidneys, bladder and cloaca is there. So cloaca will remove the water, urea, ammonia in the form of dilute urine, and kidney glomerulus will filter the blood, will create the urine, and water will be passively absorbed and sodium chloride will be actively absorbed. Now birds, reptiles and mammals, how they osmoregulate. They possess metanephric kidney in the adult form, mesonephric in the embryonic form, most complex type of kidney and well suited for these animals. Highest rate of metabolism, remove more water than amphibians. The primary regulatory organ that control osmotic balance of the body fluids in the desert and marine animals. Reptiles, birds, they build up high salt concentration in body, consume salty food, seawater, and they lose water by evaporation, urine and feces. Here you can see the glands, nasal glands, that is a lobe, central lobe that produce the salt tears. And here is capillary action, that is secretory tubules and central duct is there. Lumen of the secretory tubules that will secrete out sodium and chloride, will take sodium and chloride from the blood and then release from the glands, nasal glands. Then inhalation. When animal inhale, air passes through the nasal cavities and warmed by surrounding tissue. In this process, temperature drops. When the air gets deep into the lungs, further warmed and humidified. During exhalation, warm moist air passes up the respiratory tree and heat to the nasal cavity. As the air cools, water condenses and nasal surfaces not to leave the body surfaces. And this mechanism explains why dogs' nose is usually cold and moist.